John Ronald Riel Tolkien. Writer, artist, scholar, linguist. Known to millions of people around the world as the author of The Lord of the Rings. Tolkien taught at Oxford University for most of his life, specializing in Old English, Middle English, and Old Norse. Was a prominent scholar. Limited to his leisure time, his creativity was expressed in fantasy works, fairy tales, poetry, illustrations, invented languages and alphabets. Tolkien's most popular works, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, are set in Middle-earth, a fictional world with a strangely familiar setting populated by an ancient, anomalous race. Throughout this secondary world, Tolkien wrote sensitively about universal human concerns, such as love and loss, courage and betrayal, humility and pride, giving his books a broad and enduring appeal. Tolkien was a skilled amateur artist who painted for fun and relaxation. He excelled in landscapes and often drew inspiration from his own stories. He illustrated many scenes from the Silmarillion, The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings. Sometimes I would draw or paint as written to more clearly visualize the scene I was imagining. Tolkien was a professor at the universities of Leeds and Oxford for almost 40 years, teaching Old English, Middle English, Old Norse, and Gothic. His enlightening lectures on works such as the Old English epic poem, Beowulf demonstrate his deep knowledge of ancient languages while providing new insights into people and sagas of the distant past. Tolkien was born in 1892 in Bloemfontein, South Africa, to English parents. He came to England at the age of 3 and grew up in and around Birmingham. He graduated from Oxford University in 1915 and was placed in a sick man's house after serving on active duty in France during World War I. After the war, he pursued his academic career as an Old and Middle English teacher. Alongside his professional work, he invented his own language and began creating what is called the English myth. It was this legendarium that he worked on all his life. But his literary work did not begin and end in Middle-earth. He wrote poetry, stories for children, and fairy tales for adults. He died in 1973 and is buried in Oxford, where he spent most of his adult life. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. And so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like. And I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Is he that says farewell when the road darkens. The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places. But still there is much that is fair, and though in all lands love is now mingled with grief, it grows perhaps the greater. If more of us valued food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. He does. Many that live deserve death. And some that died deserve life.